Questions about becoming a personal trainer. Hi, I'm Hayley from Parallel Coaching and welcome to part one. This is called Is It For Me? Today, we're going to answer all the questions that commonly occur when people are thinking about becoming personal trainers, but have doubts or questions about whether the fitness industry is right for them. So that's what we're going to be talking about today. And this is part one of a 4-part series that we're doing all about answering those questions that you may have about becoming a personal trainer. And you're going to be able to find all 4 parts of this on both our Fit Pro Sessions podcast by Parallel Coaching, and you'll be able to find that on Spotify, iTunes, or wherever you get your podcasts from. And then also you'll be able to find this on our YouTube channel as well. And if you're already subscribed to that, wonderful. If not, click the red button and you can join us too. So I'm going to run through in a moment what is involved in each of the 4 parts that we've got coming up, and then we'll dive into the actual details of today's episode, which is all about, is it for me? Is it right that you decide to become a personal trainer? Is it going to suit what you want to get from it? That's what we're looking at today. So before I go too much further, I thought I might just introduce myself very quickly. I'm Hayley, if you've not come across me before. Now, in a nutshell, I'm a PT by trade. Spent many years doing that. I'm an educator by nature. I love educating personal trainers and I love educating in general. I like sharing knowledge and I like simplifying knowledge as much as possible. Also, I'm director by title, so I'm the owner of Parallel Coaching, and we've been existing since 2012, and our mission is to improve the fitness industry with knowledgeable and confident fit pros. And that is not a mean feat. We've worked with thousands of fit pros, both trainee fit pros and those that are already qualified. And it's really exciting to see each of those journeys unfold. And when I say fit pros, I mean fitness professionals. That's not just those that are personal trainers or gym instructors. It's also those that maybe work in a boot camp scenario, or maybe they're Pilates and yoga and they want to specialize. We've worked with lots of different types of fit pros. So I want to share all that detail and knowledge with you as we go through the entirety of this whole episode and series with you. But today we're going to be focusing on the very first part. And part 1 is called Is It For Me? I've already mentioned that a couple of times. Part 2 is about exploring career paths. So that's where I'll kind of detail all the different career paths that are available to you in fitness. And there is a lot of them. There's not a one size fits all by any means. Part 3, we're going to look at how you choose the right course for you. And then part 4 is about action versus confidence. Now, this one's really important because often the big question we have is about confidence. And this isn't just before getting qualified or during your qualification, but definitely after qualifying as well. Confidence can be a big thing that stops people from taking action. So by the time we hit part 4, all of those will be answered as well. Now, if you want to be able to binge watch all 4 of these parts, you're more than welcome to. That's on our YouTube, and also listen to them on our Spotify. But if you're not on there, or they're not all totally released yet, make sure that you are subscribing to it so you do get notifications on the next ones that come out. So today we're looking about, is it for you? Is becoming a PT really what you want to do? And does the fitness industry match who you are and what you want to get from it? Now, the first thing I want to address here is the PT stereotype. The PT stereotype is a bit old-fashioned now, and that's long gone are the days of PTs only being super young, super athletic and sporty and 6-packs and really ripped. It's not really about that anymore as personal trainers. And we've noticed over the years, even over the last 12 years that we've been teaching inside Parallel Coaching, but also pre that when we were tutors and teachers of other kinds of in other types of companies inside the industry, we've noticed that the industry has changed, and it's not about just super young people that want to become PTs and it's their first ever career, but more and more we're getting people that are older, or they're on their 2nd or 3rd career change. And this shows that the PT industry is changing. The fitness industry has changed. It's not really about the young guns necessarily anymore. It could be, but it's not only about that. And as a PT, you need to know that it's not about how much you can lift, how strong you are, how fast you can move, how ripped you are, how good your 6-pack is. It's not about you. It's not about any of that. People want someone that's going to be able to coach them to achieve an outcome and a result. And that's really what the angle that we take here in Parallel Coaching, is that you are a coach first and foremost. And the title personal trainer does encompass that element of being a coach, but really it's about how you show up as a PT. Means that you are coaching and helping your clients get a result. And really that happens at any age, that happens at any fitness level. It shows that it's not necessarily the old school stereotype of what a PT used to be. You don't have to wear lycra either. And those have all changed. You can see the nice image on screen here of one of our recent PT courses. It shows a good mixture of people. The average age on our PT courses are 44. So actually mid-age, so 44, is those that are most common in our PT groups, which shows that it's not those fresh out of college. So it's a varying group, mostly between 30 and 60. Obviously, we have a couple of younger ones. We have a couple that are older on that spectrum as well. But the nice thing is that everyone's in that position where they're adults, they're grown-ups, and they're looking to become PTs or to become coaches, usually so that they can actually get to the point whereby they can help others or they can have more of a rewarding career. So as I said earlier, most people are on their second or their third career change, or maybe they're coming back to a career after raising a family. So maybe their kids have finally got to the age where they go to school and they're like, oh, I've actually got some time for myself. I want to start a career. I want to start a business. And they're looking to fitness to do that. Now, the other nice thing about a PT and being a PT is that it draws on all of your life experiences so that you can then work with clients to get results. This isn't just what you learn inside your PT course, although that is very helpful. It's your life experience, all the experience you've had in your previous careers, all of the communications you've ever had with someone, the relationships you've had with different people. All of this stuff helps you become a better coach. And that's why it's not necessarily about the PT stereotype or that old school stereotype about being young or experienced in the gym necessarily. It's much more about what you bring as a coach and how you can help people change. So hopefully that starts to put those sort of questions to bed, really. And again, this answers probably some of the main questions that come up. But is the fitness industry for me? These are the main 5 questions that we get asked that fall underneath that. First of all, am I too old? The answer is always no. And sometimes we get the question, am I too young? And again, the answer is always no, as long as you're old enough to do the qualification, which is 17 and up. But essentially, you're not too old. And the reason why people often think that it's a young person's game is because they're helping people with their fitness level or their health. They think that they need to be at perfect health or fitness in order to do that. And it's not about your own fitness or your own health or your age. It's about being able to work with people. It's also about being able to resonate with people so that people can look at you and go, I want to be like that, or I find inspiration in that person, or that they can come to you to feel motivated and inspired. And this is what it is to be a coach or a PT. Age doesn't come into that at all. And if you think of you now going out to find a personal trainer or a coach or a fitness professional to help you in your journey, you wouldn't look at their age. You wouldn't ask them what their age is. It's not about that. And because there's so many career paths inside fitness, which we'll come to in episode 2, you'll realize that actually it's not about age, because you could be 60, you could be 70 and retired and wanting to work with some clients on the side. That doesn't need to stop you from what you're going to do, because the career paths are all quite different. So hopefully that answers that. No, you're not too old. The average age on our PT courses is 44. And usually the people that are asking are sort of between the ages of 30 and 60. And at that point, they're thinking they're too old. And you're really not. I promise there's still lots of life left in the tank, which is probably why you're thinking about it in the first place. Number 2 is, am I too unfit? I think I kind of answered this already. You don't need to be super fit. You don't need to be an athlete. You don't need to be strong or fast in order to work with clients. You might work with clients in all sorts of different specialisms and all sorts of different types of programs. None of those necessarily require you to have done what you're about to coach your clients to do. Or it could be that you've done it a long time ago, or maybe your clients want to get to the level that you're at. So please don't think that you have to be some sort of super athlete in order to coach people to become a better fitness level. You certainly don't. And even in terms of the course, yes, the course is active because you're coaching each other, but there's no fitness requirement because the person coaching you will allow you to will have to adapt based on your level. Question number 3 is how much income is there in the fitness industry? And we do get this often. And really, I could just say, how long is a piece of string? You can make your fitness business whatever you want it to be. You might just have a couple of part-time clients, or you might have a full-scale business with other people working for you, or a unit or a setup whereby you're creating your own gym. So there's a huge discrepancy or huge variation in the type of income you can be earning in the fitness industry, and they all start with the same qualification of level 2 gym instructor. And I'll come to that on episode 2. That's what we're going to discuss there, when you understand more about that career path that you have ahead of you. But in terms of income, it can be whatever you want it to be, whether that's alongside an existing career, or whether it's something that's going to replace your existing career, or maybe it's your very first career. It doesn't really matter. If you're looking to earn some income and help clients, then it's a really nice way of moving forwards. Number 4 is it a job or is it a business? Either, and whatever you want it to be. Again, this is how flexible the fitness industry is, and it's actually why I love it so much. You could go and get a paid for job whereby, let's just say you earn 24k a year, and you're working inside a gym or a health club or a leisure center type setting where they're employing you or paying you for the time you're there. That might include potentially doing gym hours, or it could include things like personal training, or it could be a management position. But there's loads of things inside the fitness industry that exist. It could be that you do freelance work whereby you go in and teach just a set few classes for a set fee, and you invoice for those. Or it could be that you have a few private clients, maybe PT, maybe it could be a class, maybe a boot camp, that build up towards your own fitness business. Or you might go totally online and create your own business. You might go totally face-to-face and create your own business. But the fitness industry is really flexible, and it can be anything you want it to be. If something doesn't exist in a job that already is lined up, then think about how this might change your whole approach or your whole structure of career that you've been thinking about, and maybe flirt with the idea that your own business, your own fitness business, might be the best solution or an option for you. So it doesn't have to be a fixed income, a fixed job that you go for. You can kind of create whatever you want it to be, and that's one of the things that excites me most. Question number 5 is the qualification difficult? And I get asked this a lot, and I think this stems from people doubting their own abilities, or maybe it's been a long time since they've started learning, or since they learned anything, maybe a long time since they sat in the classroom. So, I mean, if you take our average age of our learner is 44, that's going to be 30-ish years ago they were sat in a classroom learning, preparing for exams, whatever. And that's a long time ago. A lot of things have gone through our brains and come back out the other end, and we can end up doubting whether we're going to be able to do things. Also, a lot of people think that maybe they've never had a qualification before, or a structured qualification, or done exams before, and that's okay. The fitness industry starts with a level 2. Level 2 is GCSE standard, so it's quite straightforward. And the idea of the syllabus is that you don't need anything before doing that level 2. It is the beginning. So you will learn everything you need to know as part of that journey. And that's really important. So when you're looking at whether the qualification is difficult or whether you're going to struggle with the learning, it's important that you find something that matches your learning style. and that you take things step by step, especially if you're worried about how much you're going to be able to cope. So really think about starting just say at level 2 gym. Find out that you can do it, find out that you're feeling good about that, and then you can kind of move forwards and start building on up the qualification ladder, so to speak, as you work your way through the fitness industry. And that can help resolve a lot of questions about whether you're going to be good enough, whether it's suitable for you, whether you're going to enjoy it, whether you're going to learn easily, and how you find the right type of learning for you as well. So is the fitness industry for you? Hopefully the answer to that is yes. It might be no, and that's okay as well. But these 5 questions are the ones that come up the most. Am I too old? Am I too unfit? How much income is there? Is it a job or a business? And is the qualification difficult? They're the ones that we get asked the most here when I speak to people wanting to become personal trainers. And then the next bit is a question that I often ask back. So I've had all those questions come forward, but the question that I often ask back is then, what makes an outstanding fitness coach? And this is the same thing. What makes an outstanding PT, an outstanding fitness coach, a personal trainer, a fitness professional? And I think it comes down to these 5 things. First of all, enthusiasm, something that you are excited about, something that an outcome that you want to help people achieve because you are enthusiastic about it, you're energetic about it. And I think that's a really important part, because that's the point where you start to inspire others. I also think all the skills that you bring from other careers is really important at making an outstanding fitness coach, because it tells you about communication, teaches you about patience and organization and all of those other life skills that you bring along. And I think those become key in how you set yourself up for becoming a great PT. Also, this one, I think if I could have a hierarchy, this one will be the most important. And that's because there is a want to help others. And I think hopefully this is the thing that will attract you most to the fitness industry, is that want to help someone, that ability to go, right, I have this particular, they have a particular goal or they have a particular problem and I want to help them overcome it. And I think that's exciting and it's rewarding, and it gives you some extra purpose beyond, say, just income or a business or something to do or a hobby. It becomes something where you can now have purpose in your day, and you can start seeing results and caring about those results that you see with your clients. Then number 4, I said experience. This is not necessarily experience in the gym yourself. It could be an experience of a transformation you've had in the past. It could be that you've lost a particular amount of weight, or maybe you've overcome part of a medical or health condition using health and fitness to help you along your journey. Whatever it is, the experience you bring is key at helping you become a great fitness coach, a great personal trainer that can really relate to others. And then finally, I've put in there open-minded. I think a key point is to turn around and say, actually, I'm open to all this new research that comes out. I'm open to the experiences I've had and the experiences that other people are bringing to the table, because it makes you a great coach, because you can see their version, you can see their world by being a little bit more open-minded. So hopefully you can see that within these 5 different skills, that these are just my opinion of what I believe makes an outstanding fitness coach after years of seeing lots of PTs come through. And hopefully you can see that you are what it takes to be a PT. You already have a lot of the skills that it takes. And your course, your qualification that you're going to do will help teach you all the learnable stuff around that anyway. So some of the things that are innate or that are in you are the stuff that you're interested in. They're fitness related. They're things that excite you about fitness and about becoming a personal trainer in the first place. And hopefully you've got that deep inside you, or from your own experiences anyway. So that's what I think sums this up nicely. So if you're wondering about, are you right for joining the fitness industry, and is the fitness industry right for you, then hopefully this little list of what makes an outstanding fitness coach, and also the answers that I've shared with you about becoming a PT, will be really beneficial for you. And hopefully you can go, yeah, actually, it is something I want to do. Or you've kind of gone, actually, it's not really for me. Either way, it's about taking a little moment to think about it. I would love you to comment below. So if you are watching this on YouTube, you below in the comments section, and I want to know what questions are stopping you from becoming a personal trainer. And also, I would like you to give us some feedback on Spotify or iTunes as well. There'll be a place in there that you can leave us some feedback. So what are the questions that are stopping you from becoming a PT? We might have answered them here in today's episode. We might not have. So please do drop them below. And also, if there's anything you want to share about the big takeaways, or if you've got any general questions, please do leave those in the comments as well. As I said at the beginning, make sure that you have subscribed to our YouTube channel and to our Fit Pro Sessions podcast so that you can get part 2, which is coming up very soon. But when part 2 is released, it's going to be called Exploring Career Paths. So feel free, if it's already available, to hop straight on over by the time you're watching this. If it's not available, it'll be out shortly, and I'll make sure that that's nice and clear inside the show notes so that you can find out when the next one is arriving. But part 2, Exploring Career Paths in Fitness, will be coming up soon. That's the next one to be looking for as part of this 4-part series. I really enjoyed today's episode. I hope you have as well. Please do leave us some comments. Make sure you subscribe. And if you haven't hit any like buttons that might be hanging around, make sure you do that too. Thank you so much for joining me, and I will see you on the next one. Take care.